So a lot of people would say like, oh yeah, like I can tell people about my goals, dreams, desires, whatever. Like they can't physically stop anything, but it's not that they can physically stop
Yeah.
anything. They don't have to come in and actually like, put a halt to what you're doing.
Right.
Simple energy can throw it off. And I really want people to like
Yes.
understand that. So that's what happens like when you tell someone if they have an opposite intention, that throws off the energy of what you are trying to build, which opens the door for confusion.
Yeah.
And because that decoherence creates confusion.
Welcome back to Deep Roots Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Thompson, and today's guest is someone who beautifully bridges all of the worlds of science and spirit, healing and awakening, the mind and the quantum field. She is known to over 350,000 people online as the Guru, and it's Guru Benny. She's a therapist, abstract thinker, a modern guide helping people understand consciousness, emotional healing, and quantum reality in a way that feels both grounded and transformational. We're diving deep into the quantum today, exploring what it means to shift timelines, jump realities, and align your vibration with the life that you were meant to live. So settle in, take a deep breath, and open your mind because this conversation might just change how you see reality itself. So, Benny, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for
Um,
having me.
I would like to get started with you just starting to tell me about your journey. How did you get to where you are today?
Yeah. I've always been like an inquisitive person. My mom always tells me that like when I was young, I'd always ask questions, and as I got older, they got bigger. And she's like, I wouldn't even have the answers to
I
these
was going to
questions.
say, did she not have the answers for a lot of them?
No, she never did. But that's really what, that was kind of like a blessing in disguise because that led me to going seeking for myself and finding my own
Mm,
answers, which as I got older, I realized was always better than, just getting a surface level answer from someone who probably
yes.
made it up or didn't really know what they were saying.
Yeah.
When you discover something on your own, it just has that much more like, you know, power behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I started off as when I went to college, my first inquiry was to be a doctor, a medical doctor. So my
Mm-hmm.
undergraduate degree is in pre-med biology. And then I always knew I wanted to help people. But when you're
Yeah.
young, you really don't know all the professions that you can do to help people. They kind of like narrow it down. You're going to be a lawyer or a firefighter or a doctor.
Yes.
So I just wrote it off to like, oh, I want to help people. I love people. I'm going to be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
As I got into that field and I started, going into hospitals and doing clinical
Mm-hmm.
portions of stuff, something clicked to me like, thank God for the physicians, but I felt
Mm-hmm.
like there was something a little too late about working as a doctor in a hospital. Like by
Yeah.
then, people come in, they're already ill, you're just giving medicine.
Yes.
So I'm like, there has to be something deeper. In that field, I also learned that like a lot of illnesses arise from like just being unleveled within the body, like
Yes.
just the mental side of it. You can really think yourself into almost doom. That's not to take away from
Yes.
actual diseases and diagnoses. There's a lot of genetic factors that come
Mm-hmm.
into play, but there may be somebody who has like two people who have the same illness and it's fatal for one and not the other. And
Mm-hmm.
so going down a rabbit hole, I learned that that could be as simple as one person's mindset over the other. And so I was like, okay, here's where I need to start. Mental
Yeah.
health, getting into the soul, the spirit, the mind. And I feel like I know that if we can tackle that portion of things, there'll be a lot of less fatalities and diseases and hospital visits and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yes.
then I switched from that undergrad biology. I did graduate with that degree anyway, but when I went into my master's, I decided to pivot into
Mm-hmm.
psychology and marriage and family therapy.
Oh, that's incredible.
Hmm.
Um, so the fact that we're energy beings anyway, and so the trauma or the emotions or the mindset, all of that plays a factor, and we're not
Absolutely.
taught that in school at all.
Mm-mm.
And I feel like that
Exactly.
we could, I mean, just like you said, there's got to be a deeper meaning to a lot of this. And I love the fact that you listened to that part of you, and I know that you have absolutely blessed and helped so many people.
That
So
makes me
thank you
feel
for
really good.
that. I know
Yeah,
just the short time that I have been introduced to you, I have learned so much from you, and I appreciate that.
I love that. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you for those kind
Yes.
words.
So, so what did you do after that? Like once you graduated and
Yeah, so there was kind of like two two processes that were occurring at once. One side of it was like doing the school things, doing going to getting the degrees, but the other side was like a personal pursuit.
hmm
So I kind of like I got to where I'm at today just by like experiencing life and going through like levels of defeat in a way, like going through hardships and not, you know, hardships in life are very unique. Sometimes you hit a point in life where it's like you can't ask anybody any more questions. You kind of have to like turn within and figure things out on your own. So I think one of like the turning points that kind of bridged my, academic and career lifestyle with like my personal growth was going through like a traumatic event, a couple traumatic events. Um, one being having lost my father, one being getting out of a long-term relationship at such a young age. I know that sounds very surface level, but
it's not.
relationship
Yeah.
drama can take you out for sure,
Take
especially
you out.
when you're
Yes.
young and there's just so much
Oh,
to balance.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, so those were two events that kind of like shifted me and put me down that rabbit hole, especially when I lost my father. I was like 17, 18, or 18 or 19 years old. I
Mm-hmm.
was young.
Yeah.
Um, and those were one of the things that nobody had any answers to. And I
Yeah.
really wanted some kind of like closure or just peace
Mm-hmm.
to like understanding of what was going on. And so that opened the door for my spiritual pursuit. Because I'm like, great guy. He just is gone now from the physical world, but I
Right.
still feel attached to him. Like it doesn't feel like just because he's physically not here that like the memories are still there, the emotions are still
Yes.
there. If I cried about it, I still felt his presence. So I was like, there's something that is here. And so that set me down the rabbit hole of spirituality and quantum mechanics and things of that nature.
So let's get into quantum mechanics because that
Everyone's
is
favorite.
absolutely fascinating. Not
Hmm.
confusing at all. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Oh
so
man, it
simple to
is.
understand, right? Anybody
Yeah.
can understand that.
No, I mean, honestly, I try to make it as digestible as possible. Sometimes keeping it very simple is what
Yeah.
makes it that like you don't want to keep talking about it because then you start thinking about it. And a lot of quantum mechanics really is magic. It's not magic, but it is,
Yes.
it
To
goes beyond
us.
just, yeah,
Right.
right? It goes beyond just one's ability to understand things logically. So
Yeah.
less is more when talking about it, for sure.
Yes. So
Yeah.
how do you explain it to people?
I I try not to. I try not to
Good
lead
answer.
with that. But no,
Yeah.
if they do ask, you know what? Quantum mechanics for me, when I was in college, I studied physics. So
hmm
quantum mechanics is a branch of physics. It
Yes.
goes deeper and it looks into the things and the behaviors of atoms and particles and energy that we cannot see versus physics is more of like, you push something, it goes forward, you drop something, it falls down, things
Right.
like that. I was fortunate enough to come across a professor who was like completely feral. Like he was just like this, like the standard of like maybe like a mad scientist. And yeah,
Yes.
I was very
That's my
fortunate to come
favorite.
across him. You know, seriously.
Yes.
I did have those
hmm
professors that were more like logic based and by the textbook, but this guy was like, just not
hmm
like that. He was very open-minded. He obviously followed the criteria and the guidelines that he needed to do, but like he said something once like basically nothing is real.
Yeah.
Everything is real because we say it is. Everything that is real is because we all enough people agree to say that this is what it is. And that just like clicked for me because at the time I was like, what is this guy talking about? But
Yeah.
that definitely carried me on my own pursuit. And so going down like the spiritual side of things,
hmm
I never knew that these things connected together. I
Yeah.
had my I had my physics background through school, and then I was now in this pursuit of my spiritual background, and there was a lot of overlaps, and that's where I came into quantum mechanics because they overlap severely.
And they do. You're
Yeah,
absolutely right. The
it's
little bit
amazing.
that I understand and I know, but they
Yeah,
absolutely do
yeah.
overlap. So, what about explain the decoherence theory?
hmm Yeah. So, in layman terms, basically, atoms behave in certain ways, and when they are interrupted by something, they enter decoherence. So, decoherence is really just saying that it becomes destabilized in a way. So, atoms in their natural form exist in superposition. So, that
Mm-hmm.
means that, like, they can be all things. Like, on a mechanic side, quantum mechanics side, they can be all things. They have all possibilities. They're up, they're
Mm-hmm.
down, they're left, they're right. But in that like chaos, so to speak, is some type of coherence,
Yes.
consistency, stability in the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So when an atom is introduced to a particular environment, it exits that consistency that it's in, and it exits that coherence, and then it starts to change and take on the shape of whatever environment that it's a part of.
Right.
Yeah, which ultimately is considered a decoherence because it takes it out of that natural form.
Hmm. So you explained in one of your videos that this is why we don't tell people our plans or what we're going to do. So kind
hmm
of kind of go and explain
hmm
that because that
Oh
resonated
man,
with me.
I'm glad.
It
I'm
did.
glad because that is like I've been making answering a lot of questions, like people's personal questions, and just making like certain Q&A videos for like my own channel and stuff.
Hmm.
And one of the things that always comes up is like not telling people what you're planning. And this is not
Yes.
to say like don't tell anybody ever. When I made that video, there's a lot of comments of people saying, well, like, what if you have a mentor or what if you need to tell? That's not to say like don't tell
Hmm.
anybody ever, but like two things. One, you want to make sure you're telling the right people. You want to make sure that
Yes.
the environment you're sharing in is in coherence with what you hope to keep, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Hmm.
That's number one. And two, you only want to share things after momentum is already built.
Yeah.
Because after there's enough of a specific energy placed on that thing, it's harder for an external energy to come and knock it off. It's pretty much like the stronger you are, the harder it is for anybody to push you down.
Yeah.
So the stronger and more energy you put into whatever dream, goal, desire you have, the harder it would be for someone to push it down. People don't give enough momentum. And so their dreams, their desires, their goals, which are all, existing in superposition, they
Hmm.
exist, but we cannot see them physically.
Right.
Um, if somebody's intentions, if it's the opposite from what you're trying to pursue, it has the opportunity to put it in decoherence.
Yes.
I hope that makes sense.
No, it makes complete sense.
Okay.
And that's when I heard that, I was just like, yes. And
Yeah.
I have noticed in my life, there are times that I was, just as an example, so excited about something or had a plan, didn't have much momentum behind it yet. It was relatively new. And then you share it, and it almost immediately seems to just completely derail. It's like,
Absolutely.
what happened?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
but there's so many factors, and
Mhm.
a lot of it is maybe the feedback that you get from the other person
Yep.
or the energy that they bring to it. I mean, it could be so
Yep.
many, or your doubt, so
Yeah.
many things. But that
hmm
makes complete and total sense, like the way that you
Yeah.
explain that. And I think that it's important for people to know that.
Oh man. Yeah, it is. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't realize, like, I want people to understand that there's a whole world out there that we can't see, and energy
Yeah.
is real, and energy
Yes.
influences everything. Energy is we are energy.
We are. Everything is
Everything is
energy.
energy. Exactly.
Yes.
So if you believe in the physical reality that you can see, touch, feel, taste, observe with your senses,
Mm-hmm.
energy created that reality. So it's
That's
really
right.
important to understand how energy moves. So a lot of people who say like, oh yeah, like I can tell people about my goals, dreams, desires, whatever, like they can't physically stop anything. But it's not that they can physically stop
Yeah.
anything. They don't have to come in and actually like put a halt to what you're doing,
Right.
simple energy can throw it off. And I really want people to like
Yes.
understand that. So that's what happens like when you tell someone if they have an opposite intention, that throws off the energy of what you are trying to build, which opens the door for confusion.
Yeah.
And because that decoherence creates confusion, now it's not in alignment with everything that you believe. It you start second guessing, even if they don't. This is the part that people don't understand. Even if the person you tell doesn't say, I don't agree with this, if they don't feel like they agree with it, that's enough to have the same
That's
impact.
enough. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Because our
Yeah.
energy fields, I mean, they mesh. They
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
And
Exactly. That's exactly
so,
what's happening. Yeah.
yes. And then
Mm-hmm.
if you do tell someone your plans, and they could say, "Oh, I think that sounds good." But if they're sending the energy or they're thinking, "Oh my gosh, that's a horrible idea." Like they'll
Mm-hmm.
never be able to do that. They're
Yes.
not,
Yes.
smart enough, strong enough, all this stuff. You're receiving that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Especially, which goes into the decoherence theory again. If you're in close proximity to that person, even
Yeah.
physical close proximity or emotional proximity, like you said, our energy fields intertwine. So just sitting next to
Yes.
somebody and saying, hey, da, da, da,
Mhm.
if they don't agree, it's over with. And the thing is that a lot of people, this is what makes it kind of scary, and this is what makes it best to just not say anything because it's really hard, because sometimes the people you tell, they are happy for you, like
Yeah.
they do think that you can do it possibly, but if
Mhm.
they think that it's incapable for them to do,
Yep.
that's also enough to throw your thing like, oh, that sounds crazy, that sounds, I don't even know how anybody would ever do that,
Yeah.
that energy. Yeah, so it's
That's
very
it.
sensitive. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And we do not, most don't realize that the energy is that sensitive. But I mean, even in instances where we're in close proximity with someone and we're just talking with them, and it doesn't even have to be like sharing anything major, but the feelings that we get, it's just like it could be what we seem like, what we feel like is a pleasant conversation, right? And but if their vibration or their energy is off or negative, or they're thinking like mean things and they're not
Mm-hmm.
saying it, we can feel that. I
Yes.
mean, we've been in those like conversations or those instances where it's like, I don't know why I feel so bad about this, but or feel
Yeah.
so weird or gross, or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's because of the energy that we're receiving.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're such intuitive beings. We all get that feeling,
Yeah.
but it always starts with believing in the things you can't see, because that can happen to one person and they'll completely overlook it and be delusional about it. They'll just be like, oh, that's
Yes.
nothing, because they don't understand that there's something, there's an exchange that's occurring there, although you can't physically see it.
The times that
Yeah.
I have done that in the past, not, I mean,
Yeah.
had no idea about any of
Yeah.
this. And now I'll look back, I'm like, oh, that was the
Mm-hmm.
red flag, or that was that warning sign, or, my intuition
Yes.
saying, hey, we're not receiving like good things from this person.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Mm.
is really incredible how we work and how powerful we are, and like just, I don't know how everything works really. Um,
Yeah. It is
we're not just
amazing.
physical humans.
Mm. And
We're,
once we start to operate outside of that physical limitation, life
yeah.
just becomes so much easier. And I think this is why we weren't taught that,
Mm.
because imagine a world full of people knowing their
Oh,
power. Who could take power
yes.
over us? The world that we
Nobody.
live in. Yeah, right. The world we live in is designed
Yes.
for, one group of people or whatever to
Mm-hmm.
have reign over the
Yeah.
rest. So if we knew how powerful we are, that could never happen.
No,
But life becomes easier when you take the energetic approach, for
it
sure.
does. It does.
Hmm.
And even watching just the powers that be that do have the control, and um, it doesn't seem to, or for me personally, have a big effect on me, because I mean, you see it for what it is,
Yes,
you
Jennifer.
know?
Yes, that's
Do
so
you feel
true.
the same
I
way?
I feel the same exact way, and I tread lightly when talking about it
Mm-hmm.
because majority of people find that offensive.
Yeah.
Like, how could you not be this invested in what this president is
Yeah.
doing or that Senate has done? Or, I mean, obviously, like, I guess it impacts me to an extent, but it goes to prove the whole energy thing and the whole perspective thing, and what you
Yes.
perceive is what you're going to get, because I really feel like it doesn't impact anything in here because I'm saying it doesn't. I'm not
I
giving it that
agree
foot.
completely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's,
Hmm.
and I have said that many times. Like, it does not have a direct effect
Exactly. Exactly.
on my
Exactly.
life or anybody else's life if you don't want it to.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
And
all
people just,
intention.
it's all intention. But
Hmm.
we're getting there as a
We
collective.
are.
People are going to
I
slowly
agree.
understand.
Hmm.
But I kind of had to stop, forcing that outlook. If you ask me, I'll tell
No.
you. But it's
Yes.
harder to go tell people like, hey, listen, don't let that bother you. It's
Hmm.
offensive to them. Like, how could it not? But,
How could it not bother you? Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. We'll come around, Jennifer. We will.
I agree. Just takes one at, I mean, just one at a time. We're all kind of
One at a
starting to
time.
wake up, and
Yes,
it
yes.
is a beautiful thing. And another thing
Hmm.
that I love to think about, and this is just in my, we know how, I mean, we talked about it. Energy is real, and the energy that we put, the intention that we have, right? I love witnessing this and I love researching this. Like, when people come together as a collective and they have an intention, like the brain heart coherence, that's
Hmm.
not, I never can remember this name. Anyway, the brain heart institute.
Coherence. Oh,
Yes. Yes.
well,
Anyway,
I know what you're talking. Yeah,
you
I know
know
what
what
you're
I'm talking
talking about.
about.
Yes, I do.
Exactly. Yes. They all come together and they meditate, or they have the intention at the same time to, like, and it's directed toward, I mean, just say a city with a lot of violence or something, or um there are measurable improvements in those areas because you're sending love and you're sending
Hmm.
healing. Could you imagine if we all could get together and have that intent? I mean,
Yeah.
that's how powerful we are. We literally
Yes.
can heal and change things with our energy and our intention and our love.
Yes. And
And
unity
yeah.
and being on the same page. That's another phenomenon that I've been like highly invested in, is trying to get people to understand that like rallying against things and disputing and arguing and being angry is only sending us deeper into that thing.
Yes.
For
What if we did
instance,
the
the war.
opposite?
If we
Hmm.
did the opposite, but there's a lot of things when we're learning new things, the first step is like unlearning a lot of
Yeah.
things. And that's what
Hmm.
takes a while, because we have people like you and I who are sharing the information, who are, having the platforms and speaking in this way.
Yes.
Um, but a lot of people may not receive it because they haven't weeded out what they already know. So it's a
That's
process.
right. It
Yeah.
is. And they really can't receive it until, because their reality, like at that moment where
Hmm.
they are, they can't receive it.
Yeah, exactly.
They
They're
can't
not
see
an
it.
energetic match. Yeah,
That's
so they
right.
can't see it, they
Yeah.
can't receive it because they're not in the weeding out, you're resetting your energy point. So
Yes.
basically, if you have all this gunk and trauma and, poor beliefs and morals about certain things, and somebody comes to you with a high, those are all low vibrating things. So if
Yeah.
someone comes to you with a high vibrating conscious awareness of something, and they try to get you to see it, it will naturally repel because they're
Yeah.
opposites. So they're not a match for one another.
Hmm.
So that's, doing the weed out work is really important.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So, talking about all of this, awareness, of course, is huge. And you talk about levels of awareness. Can you go over that?
Yeah. So levels of awareness is actually a phenomenon that I just came into myself. And as always, I always gotta go down a rabbit hole of information.
Hmm.
But basically there's 7 levels of awareness, and whatever level of awareness you fall at is how you're going to actually experience life. So
Mm.
that was something that stood out to me, because we would assume that, like, if there's, for example, this is an example that we just talked about. We would assume that if there is like a world event occurring, everybody's going to receive that event the same way, or everybody should. Most people would assume that everyone should receive
Yeah.
it the same way, but depending on your level of awareness is how you are going to interpret that event.
Yes.
Also, depending on your level of awareness, you get access to different things. So there's some people who like, you look at it and it's like, wow, they seem to get everything that they want, or that's kind of shallow. Not everything that they want, but like they seem to have an advantage in certain
Yeah.
places.
I
Yeah.
completely understand what you're saying.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. And so that happens not because of anything, not because of any one physical resource that they may have in
Mm-hmm.
physical reality. That happens because of their awareness level. So your intuition, you're getting nudges and synchronicities in your life all the time. I'm not
Yeah.
sure how like spiritual you are on the angelic side or whatever.
I'm
Um,
very much
okay,
spiritually
okay, good. Yeah,
connected to that. Yes, for
okay,
sure.
good. Yeah, so like we have guides and angels
Mm-hmm.
and just nudges that are constantly trying to direct us. We're not
Yes.
alone. We don't have to be alone, but based on your level of awareness, you will feel alone simply not because
Yeah.
you don't have access to the same guides that somebody has or the same intuition. It's because you're not able to receive it because you're
Yes.
vibrating down here and those
Yes.
nudges and synchronicities are up here.
Yep.
And it's really just a matter of being able to match it. So if you have a higher level of awareness, you're more in tune with higher level things, higher level consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
guides and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so life becomes easier for you in that way because you're always sinking, you're always sinking. Not to say that if you're at a lower level, you're not getting those things. It's just going over your head because you're not a
Yeah.
match to even see it. Yeah,
It's almost a block or resistance. I mean, like a
correct.
energetic
Absolutely.
block. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The resistance thing, this vibe, it has this vibe, it repels. So yeah,
Exactly.
there's a resistance for sure. So level one is pretty much just like the basic level. It's just at this level, we come in at level one,
Right.
as babies. So at this level, we're just worried about like our survival, like eating, like just basic things.
Mm-hmm.
We worry about a lot at this level because everything we think has to be tied to our survival. If somebody says
Yeah.
something mean to us, we feel threatened. Our survival feels
You
threatened.
think a lot of people
It,
get stuck even on level one, just in survival? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of people get stuck in survival for sure, but I've seen that at like a level two, people also have that residue
Mm.
of survival on them as well. After level two, when it's level three, those people, because they become more introspective and they are digging deep, they're not looking at external factors because survival is tied to the outside. How can I survive and use the outside to make sure I stay alive versus self-reflection, everything else, all the other levels are inside. So I
Mm-hmm.
see when people get to level three that they're less based on tied to survival, but at a level two, people are also, I think most people are at level two.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because like I use the relationship example in my videos. At a level one, you might stay in a toxic relationship or a toxic situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you don't care what you look like. You don't care if like people think you're crazy. You don't
Mm.
care if it's like the worst thing ever because you feel like you need that situation. Like,
Yeah.
I will stay at this job. I will stay in this whatever because I need it. I don't care. Like, this is how I'm going to stay alive,
Yes.
essentially. But versus level two, although a lot of people do live in that space, level two, you may at least try to dress it up. Like you may at
Mm.
least like, oh, well, I'm staying in this relationship because on Tuesdays my partner is actually nice, so it's not that bad.
Right.
Like, or you're justifying, you care enough, you
Yeah.
become slightly less aware, and start caring just a little bit more to at least make it to justify why you're there. Level one, you don't care. I'm just gonna be here if it suits you or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so most people fall at the level two from what I've observed. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead. I was going to ask like level three. You said that it
Yeah.
was more introspective.
Yeah, so this is the first level where we turn inside. So level one being survival, you look at your environment. Level two being the social. Social,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, we're talking to other people. We're trying to understand who we are through the lens of others.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a toddler taking their first steps, drawing on something. Do you see me? Do you see me? Do you like
Yeah.
it? They're asking those things. And then level three, I always connect that to like teenagers. It's the first time that we're like discovering ourselves and who we are.
Mm.
And that's why teenagers like tend to like act out the most because they're discovering their identity. They're taking calculated risks. They're experimenting with autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
They might be defiant. It's not intentional defiance. It's more of just like trying to figure out like what are my limits here?
Yes.
Yeah. And so level three, if you're at a level three, you're instead of saying like, hey, I'm in a toxic relationship, it's doomed and I'm gonna stay, like at level one, or instead of saying I'm in a toxic relationship, but if I can make it look good, I'll stay, like at level two. At level three, you start to ask the questions like, how did I end up in this relationship? Like, why am I here anyway?
Yeah.
What mindsets, morals, and beliefs do I have? Because remember, you're looking within now, not on the outside. Do I have that even got me here in the first place? Do I have specific habits? Am I seeing patterns in my life? Is this how my parents were maybe? Did I have a previous relationship
Hmm.
like this? So that's when you start to like ask those questions. Mhm. Yeah. And then level four, we finally go inside. And level four is kind of going back outside. um it's we're worried about connecting to a whole bigger picture, because in the connecting with others we feel purpose. We
Right.
feel like we're here for something more, because we've already done the steps of like, oh, okay, I could be here for myself. I've studied myself. Now what can I learn, be brought to connect with the whole? um so yeah, we start to realize like, I used an analogy in one of my videos that like, when we walk into a forest, we're not just a person standing amongst the trees. We are a part of the forest,
Yes.
literally.
Literally.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, once you leave level four, five, six, and seven are really kind of all blended in. This is where we
Yeah.
see like the ascended masters, the sages. I
Mm.
reference like prophets like Jesus and Buddha. Here, they're just worried about embodiment. So
Yeah.
now when you get to this place, you realize at level four, you start to realize like there's something bigger
Yeah.
than just me. That's the level where we're like, oh, there's more to this. And
Yes.
in that realizing that there's something bigger, you start to dabble into that world of like, is there a God? Is there like
Hmm.
spirit? Like, what is there a higher power, a higher source? You consider that. You know that it's like not just me versus me. It's not just me
Right.
versus others. There's something that is bigger. And so level five is about embodying that, attempting to embody that. So you'll do more service, thinking about ways of how you can just live from that space of we are all one. So four
Mm.
and five kind of go together, because four, you realize that there's more, and five, you attempt to embody that, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then so for level six, we realize that we don't have to do anything to
Mm.
survive here other than just be. This is the level where we judge things less. Okay, let's go back to the situation, the relationship situation. Instead of saying, oh, I'm staying in this situation because I need to survive, or I'm going to, like at level one, or I'm going to stay in the situation as long as it looks good to others, like at level two, or instead of even asking, why am I here? Or is this a part of something bigger? We jump to not judging at all.
Yeah.
At this place, we're just like, it's almost like
Mm.
a it is what it is energy,
Yeah.
but not in like an irresponsible way. Not in just
Hmm.
like, oh, whatever happens,
No,
happens kind of
yeah.
vibes. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's more of like you're observing without judgment. You're in a
Yeah.
place of neutrality. Um, and I think that's a very powerful place to be. I'm
It
trying to
is.
practice that in my life now. That once I got into studying these levels of awareness, I started to actually apply level six in like the smallest pieces of my
Mm.
life. Whenever I feel tempted to judge something, whether even if I'm saying like, oh, that's great, I
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
not to. Yeah, I try to
Hmm.
just observe it and just say like, okay, this is it, this is how it's unfolding. Interesting. But that's not to take away from the fact that we have opinions, but I just
Right.
don't let that, because I don't think it's healthy to ignore how you feel about something,
Yeah.
because our emotions are indicators of whether or not we're in danger, if we should shift or to move, are we on a good right track? So
Yes.
it's
It's
not a
like
matter
they're
of
like
like,
our compass.
oh, definitely. Oh, I like
Hmm.
that. Our emotions are a compass. I
Hmm.
love that. I always say that. I was like, they're indicators, and I'm like, that's such an intricate word.
So I have found it to be an incredible experience when we actually can get to a place where we're not looking at things in judgment. I'm working on this too. Let's take someone, and I've used this example before, but who is homeless, right? Years ago, I probably would have been, I feel sorry for them, but they could probably get a job. I
Hmm.
mean, in all honesty, right? And not
Hmm.
everybody. And I know that I'm just saying, looking at like from a broad perspective,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, though, I truly embody that, like, we are all one and we're all connected completely. Like you said earlier, when we're in the forest, we're not just standing in the forest, we are part of those trees. We're all one. And
Hmm.
so I I'm getting to where I have the ability to look at many things without judgment. And again, it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
And if we had walked in the shoes of, just say, someone who is homeless, we would probably be in their same situation had we gone through everything they had gone through,
Yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
so I don't know. I just look at things so differently now. Does that make sense?
It makes absolute
I
sense.
don't
I
know
know
if I
exactly what, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Like it's really difficult to judge because you don't know every single step
No, you
that got them in
don't.
that place. Don't people want to be happy? Not everybody wants to be
I have
homeless,
said
you
that so
know?
many times. Like, nobody chose that.
Exactly.
You
So if
know,
they're
so
there,
what?
probably,
Yes, I say that a lot about many situations.
yeah,
And even if someone is doesn't agree with us or throwing hate our way or
yeah,
whatever, right?
yeah,
Again, we don't know the conditioning there. It's okay that people don't agree.
yeah,
We don't all have to
absolutely.
agree, right? And that's the
Right.
beautiful part of this earth, is that I mean, we're all living different experiences. We're here to live and experience
Yes.
different things, right? And we all have a different purpose. And had we lived their life, we might just be saying or acting the same way,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly. And honestly, that's like out this is one of like the highlights to level 6 and
Yeah.
not judging because it's just it takes one of your responsibilities away. We carry a lot of responsibilities
Yeah.
that are not ours. It's really not our job
Mm-hmm.
to
I love the
decide
way you said
whether
that.
that person, yeah, it's really not our job to decide
Mm-hmm.
whether that person belongs there
Mm-hmm.
or you know, that's just we have a fish to fry. But
Yeah.
when we're not judging at all, the real reason why we don't judge is not because it's like wrong or like it's because when we don't judge, we release our biases or our interpretations of
Yes.
things, and that's how source is able to fill us. And then
Yes.
so our actions become more in alignment with source rather than in alignment with our beliefs. Because, you know,
Love
our
the
beliefs
way.
are, yeah, because our beliefs are just like a pile up of a bunch of things that some of them are purposeful to us, some of them are the voices of others, some of them are things that we've
Exactly.
consumed and seen, and it's just not every our beliefs are not always in alignment with what should be done or
No, they're
how we should
not.
be acting. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And we're human, so that's it is what it is, but that is the point of not judging. When you don't say anything or like when you give that space of not putting your own morals and beliefs
Yeah.
onto a situation,
Yeah.
that is how source is able to fill you and then you can your actions are a reflection of that from there rather than a reflection
Mm-hmm.
of your previous self.
And when we don't judge, and I love the way you explain that, and when we don't judge, and we're looking at someone with love and knowing that we are connected, it is almost like, or this is my experience, you can feel their pain or their heaviness. Because again, like you said, no one asked to be taken, like homeless as an example, but no one asked to have like a difficult, I'm gonna say a crappy life.
Yeah.
And I say only, like, just like hard things
Yes.
that happen to them. No one asked for that. So I just, I just, when we're looking at someone through the eyes of love and acceptance and that we are one,
Mm.
I feel like we can feel their pain and their
Absolutely.
heavy, and
Yes. That connection.
that,
That
yes. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's things like that remind us that we all are connected because we
Exactly.
can feel that. If
We
you
can.
Yeah, you can feel it for sure. And
Mm-hmm.
you feel it almost sometimes like it's your own experience. Like it's
Exactly.
yeah, not to take away from the people who've actually been through the
Oh,
things,
no. No, no,
but
no,
yeah.
no. It's more of a
Yeah,
compassion for them,
thank you.
though.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
Exactly.
completely agree.
Yeah. And so level 7 awareness is like, it's the last step. And this is where we realize that, like, not only can we, not only are we a part of something like society, not only
Mm-hmm.
do we have the option to be a part of something bigger, like the pool of consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
not only do we have the option to have consciousness invest itself in us and we can act from that space, we are that consciousness. We
Yeah.
are the same consciousness which we seek to embody. By the
Yeah.
time you get to this level, you've done all those things, and that's why you're able to realize, like, I am the
Mm.
intelligence that I was seeking to invest itself in me because you went through the stages 5 and 6 where you allowed yourself to embody it. The next step is knowing that you were that all along.
That's
And level
beautiful.
7, yeah. And level 7 is about knowing that it's not a climb. Like we're not going from level 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to
Right.
7. It's really about peeling back levels of delusion to
Mm.
see who we were all along.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I thought that's so powerful and so strong because it's almost like a cycle. Like by the time you get to level 7, you realize like this is who I was all along.
The
This
whole
is who I
time.
started the whole time.
Yeah.
But we do have to go through these life events to remember that. So life is about remembering who we
Mm.
are. All these steps of awareness, going through that painful step of feeling like you need people, and then this, trying to prove yourself, and then
Yeah.
this, and then that, you realize that this was in my power this whole time, but you
Yeah.
wouldn't have known that if you didn't go through the previous level. So
That's right.
I saw a lot of people like when I had made posts about it, like kind of like trying to glorify being at like higher levels and like, be upset that they're at lower levels. And I always want to emphasize like all the levels are important. And if
Every
you're
one of them.
living, you're gonna go through all of them.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe your survival level did end in infancy. Maybe you're one of the lucky ones, but you
Mm-hmm.
went through that level where you needed survival. You were crying to someone to feed you and you needed
Yes.
people. Yeah, so we go through all these levels and it's really just a process, and that's the point of being alive. So I never want people to like rush and get to like a level 7. I
Yeah.
think the beauty of living is going through all the levels peacefully.
Do
Not
you
getting
think?
stuck though.
No. Oh, no. Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when, um, say, someone is kind of glorifying the fact that they are at level 6 or level 7, do you feel like that is more ego and maybe we're not embracing what we need to be embracing at that time?
Yeah, yeah. I think that people don't understand. I think it's one of
Yeah.
those things, society, we have like a go get it culture. Are you winning kind of culture?
No.
Like, did you do anything great this year? Kind of, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it is, yes, in a sense of it's a sense of ego, but it's more ignorance. Like they just
Yeah.
don't know that
Yeah.
this is
That's
one of the things that you don't have to
such a
perform
good
for.
point. Yes.
Yeah. So once people know that this is one of the things that you don't have to perform for,
Yeah.
and they still go like, well, I'm here, then that's
Then that,
100% ego.
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And people just want to be proud of themselves. And so they assume higher levels makes you better, and it doesn't make you better, it just makes you more aware. And
Yes.
if you're really at a higher level of awareness, if you are at a 6 or at a 7, like you say you are,
Hmm.
you would not even you would have the awareness to not judge because
That
at a
doesn't
level
even come
6,
to mind.
it's not going to come to
Yeah.
mind
Because
because
it's
you're
not a
you know
thing.
It's not a thing.
Yeah.
When you get at higher levels of awareness, you judge less. It doesn't matter what level, you just notice
Yeah.
it for what it is. Like, oh, okay, this person's at a level 3. Oh, I'm at a level 4.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's not like I'm at a level. You don't have that feeling when you do
Mm-mm.
have higher. So it's interesting to see people who are like, oh, I'm at a level 7. What about you? And it's like, we're at a level 7 and you
Are
wouldn't
you
have that
really
judgment.
at
Yeah,
level 7? I mean,
you
let's
know,
let's think
yeah.
about this. Yeah.
Yeah, people tend to rank themselves a lot higher though, because naturally as human beings, we see ourselves in the future. So like they see the potential that they have. So they're ranking
Yeah.
themselves from the potential rather than, the facts. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter though, because it just doesn't matter.
I know.
You got to
It
go
doesn't
through all the
matter.
levels anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's talk about parallel universes.
Yeah, from my studies, I've learned that we live in parallel universes, and this is
Mm-hmm.
something that everybody believes in. Well, I shouldn't say everybody. Majority of people believe in without realizing that they believe it.
Mm.
Like heaven and hell in religion, they talk about it all the time,
Yeah.
and they talk about it as it's like a destination, like a physical place,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really just a state of consciousness. You
Right.
can live hell on earth right now, right here.
Absolutely.
You can
Yes.
also have heaven on earth right now, right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not an actual physical place. You could call it physical if you get there, but everything is reality is just based on our perception
Yeah.
anyway. So when you get there, if you think it's physical, it will be. But nonetheless, it really is a state of consciousness.
Okay.
So that is one variation, one example of what a parallel universe is. So parallel universes are pretty much just like multiple realities that you can jump into based on your level
Mm-hmm.
of consciousness, which I'm glad we talked about levels of awareness, levels of consciousness just a second ago, because the first point I brought up is that we're all living in this world, right? But we're not
Yeah.
all seeing it the same. We're
Exactly.
living together, but we're really in different realities.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting different downloads than the next person. We're getting different synchronicities than the next person. We're getting different experiences, but our physical senses makes us feel that we're all experiencing the same thing. Because you see a table, I see a table. But how do you see that table though? You know, even as something as similar, as simple as like a color, like we can agree that this is black, but I don't know how you see
Yep.
black. I see black
Yes.
is like this, but from your perspective, we just agree that this shade of something is black, but how you see it, I would never really know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so with parallel universes is pretty much just like there's multiple realities, and every state of consciousness you have, every time you go to a next level, you enter a new reality. It's almost like jumping plates based on your decisions. Now, if you
Yeah.
make a high vibe decision, you split into the next reality. And in that
Mm-hmm.
reality, it's in alignment with that high vibe decision. If you make a low vibe decision, you jump down a plate and you end up in that reality. And
Yeah.
your life is changing by the second, every
Yeah.
single decision. But we don't notice how swiftly it's changing because as humans, we need like a catastrophic series of events to occur for
Yes.
us to be like, oh, well, I wasn't here a year ago. Or,
Mm-hmm.
we need like a whole bunch of things to happen before it clicks for us. But your life changes all the time within seconds.
Yep. And the decisions that we make now, that is predicting our future, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But they say that, the past, present, and future are all happening
Yeah.
at the same time. Yeah. So your future is as real as your
Take that
imagination.
in.
Oh man. I'm like, the
I
time
know.
thing, I need to like study more on. I said that I was going to do this a while ago, but I really want to study more on time.
Mm-hmm.
Like just what can I find about it? Like scientifically, spiritually, like I just need to know more about time. I think it's difficult for a lot of people because I have tried to pursue and study it, but you don't get a lot. Time
Yeah.
and dreams are things that like people haven't really been able to unpack. There's not that many articles on it, or the articles are like it's hard to find what is accurate because there's so many different things being said. There's really no like, oh, okay, like this is what
Yes.
majority of people have found. But yeah, they say the past, present, and future all happen at the same time, and it makes sense because it's like everything is a state of consciousness. So although you're not physically going back into the past, if you're sitting down thinking about the past, that is where you are.
Yeah, you're
Yeah. And if
right.
you're sitting down thinking about the future, that is where you
That's
are. Exactly. If you go against just the physical things that you can see.
So I heard this analogy one time. I don't know if you've heard it, and it made a lot of sense to me. I'm not saying that I completely have wrapped my head around everything,
Hmm.
but like you know how movies used to be on those movie slip things.
Yeah.
You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
The little, yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah, and like each
frames.
scene, like the frames,
Yep.
like had
Yep.
different frames, and
Hmm.
so it's one movie and it's happening at the same time, but it's just on different frames. So it depends on what frame that you're looking at. So as consciousness, like and like yeah, I guess as consciousness, we can see the whole movie, right? But
Yeah.
we're actually in the movie, so we can only see one frame at a time.
Yes,
Does that make sense
exactly.
the way I explained that?
Absolutely. It does make
Yeah.
sense. I totally get it. That's a really cool analogy. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
have to sit with that one. I like it. I might use
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, use it.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
heard it from
That's awesome.
somewhere else. I can't remember where I heard it, but it actually did put it into perspective for me. And also, of course, the TV and different TV stations. It just depends on which ones you're
Hmm.
tuned into. I've heard that one
Yeah.
too. But
Yeah.
the film and the frames that I don't know, for some reason that really just spoke to me and I understood it more.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I
but
love
just
that.
wrapping my head around time really doesn't exist
It
and
doesn't.
everything is happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And things can happen. Things do happen immediately, by the way. And it's
That
crazy
was
to
another
think.
question I had for you.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. They do. They happen immediately. It's just a matter of getting ourselves there too.
Yeah.
So if you like set an intention and say, "Hey, I want to be a millionaire," okay, money might not be the best thing, but if you have a dream or a goal, if you have a dream or a goal,
Mm-hmm.
um, and you say that this is where you want to go, that is because that is a part of the movie that you are aware of. That, like
Yeah.
you were just right, it's a part of
Mm-hmm.
your blueprint. It's a part of it's the potential is there.
Yeah.
It's something that you can have because not everybody wants to like. I've never woken up and said I wanted to be like a firefighter, like.
Yeah.
But there is somebody who has that dream. So if you have a dream or like an inclination or a draw to something, that's because it is a part of your movie and
Mm.
you're here to go get it. So when you set your intention, you say like, "Hey, I want this." It's because
Mm-hmm.
that's for you. It's for you to have. That's why when you say it, it's on its way. So when you
Yeah.
say it, it's on its way to you. It's just that everything is energy. So if you want the big house, that's vibrating at a specific frequency
You
and
have
you
to
might
get
be
there.
vibrating at a different frequency. Not to say that you're
Yes.
at a low one, you're just at a different one.
Different
And
one.
so life is, yeah, exactly. So life is really about navigating and getting yourself to match that frequency. But the second that you say it, well, it's already been there. When we got here, the movie was laid out. The movie's playing.
Yeah.
So it just is a matter of like realizing, hey, I'm ready for this. It's time. I'm ready to have the house or whatever. And then navigating and trying to match that. But it's there. The house is there. And your
Yeah.
future self is living in it. Yeah. And that's why visualization and imagination is important because the vibration of imagining something takes you a step there.
Yeah.
Everything is consciousness. So if you can't do something in the physical, since everything is consciousness and energy, if you can hold the frequency and the feeling of having that thing, it will draw. That's a part of the navigation. That's a part of getting you to match it. One of the ways to match what you want is by thinking and feeling like you have what you want. A lot
Yeah.
of, gurus and stuff would say that, like, oh, just feel like you have it. And people are like, why would I do that? I don't have it. So why would
Yeah.
I? But it's really just getting you to become a frequency match and hold the same energy of what you're looking for so you can be attracted to it.
Exactly. And the
Hmm.
times that people give up before they actually get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they
Mm-hmm.
don't know the energy thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like they need
Right.
physical validation. Is this happening yet? Is this happening
Yeah.
yet? I'm not seeing any change in my bank account. I'm not seeing no lenders are writing me back but they need the physical validation because they're ignorant to, I don't know if I like that word. Ignorant has such a bad like
It does,
stigma,
but it's
but it's not
not.
a bad
It's
word.
not.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just like the lack of not like the lack of knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're just like they're unaware of the energy aspect of things. I feel like once people start to see things in the energy realm,
Mm-hmm.
life will just become a lot easier because you'll be like, I don't even have to do this in my, I can literally just sit down and meditate on it, think about it, feel like I have it, and then it will start to be drawn to me. That sounds
Yeah,
way easier than having to actually physically go get it.
exactly. It's amazing, like you said, how things are just drawn to you when you get in that energetic match or that vibrational frequency.
Yes, when you get into a certain field, a certain when you hold a certain energy, you carry a certain aura. You know, science and biology, neuroplasticity, it would say it's an electric magnetic field that
Yeah.
our brain emits. If you're a science person, good for you. If you're a spiritual person, it'll say you carry certain spirit, aura, energy.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't deny that energy is a real thing. And once you
Right.
carry a specific aura, specific energy, specific neuro magnetic field, things that are similar to it are drawn to you. It's just how it is.
Yes.
It's just
Yes.
how it is. It's one of the beauties of the world. And in the contrast, that's how you can kind of weed out difficulties in your life. Like if you are always being presented with chaos and life is just really
Mm.
bad for you, that would that would show you to take a second and realize what energy do I carry that these
Yes.
things feel like they
Yes.
should be attracted to me.
That is something that I have been fascinated watching. Now that I have a good understanding of energy and how it works and how we do attract what we are, we don't necessarily attract what we want, right? And
Right.
that's all saying the same thing, just in different
Yep.
words. You can watch people or situations or life events and understand why it's happening because
Yes.
of the things that you're attracting. And it happens
Absolutely.
both ways, whether it's great and it's what you are, I mean, it's always what you're aligned with, whether we say it's good or bad or um it's so interesting to watch how all that plays out and you completely understand why it's happening.
Yeah. And that
Hmm.
gives you like a new level of like kind of peace. Not to say that
Yeah.
if like, you know, when bad things are happening, oh, I'm at peace knowing like, but it just gives you a certain level of like understanding. Like we're not doomed and things are
Yeah.
not just happening. How disempowering is it
Mm.
to feel like things happen and we have no control over it? I
Yeah.
always like to
You're
let
right.
people know that you, especially as a therapist, okay?
Hmm.
I always want to let people know that you are in control here.
Yeah,
Even when the
completely.
situation is bad and they
Yeah.
don't really like that. But
Hmm.
there's a power to that, knowing that even if the situation you created was bad, you know that you are a creator. And you
Yeah,
know that if I'm the creator and I got myself here, I can get myself out. But
that's
a lot of
right.
people don't want that responsibility.
No,
As
they don't.
consciousness continues to grow, we're going to understand more why it's important to take responsibility, whether
Yeah.
good or bad. And
Hmm.
hopefully that, you know, the world will just start to become better.
Yep, I completely
Yeah.
agree. If there was one truth that you could download in the entire human collective right now, what would it be? Hmm?
It would be we are the creators. The
Mm,
creator. Yeah.
yes,
And that's like goes both ways. Like not only are we the creator as in like making the little things, we are the creator
we
as
are. You're
well. The
right.
entire, yeah, yeah, we are.
That is incredible. Benny, thank you so much.
Of course.
This
Thank you. This was so
conversation
fun.
has been, yes, it's been
Mm,
fun. It's been amazing. And I just thank you. It's
yeah.
been
Thank you.
enlightening.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes. So tell everybody how they can find you. And I'm going to put everything, of course, in the description.
Okay, yeah. So super easy. My at is it's Guru Benny. That's on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
So, Benny, again, thank you so much, and I look forward to connecting in the future. If this aligns with you and you would like to come back, I would love to have you back because there are so many other things that I would love to talk about.
Yeah, me too. This conversation was so fun, and I do look forward to
Yes,
coming back. Thank you for having me.
absolutely. Thank you. What a powerful conversation. I love how Guru Benny weaves therapy, science, and the quantum field into a language that reminds us transformation isn't out there somewhere. is happening in every moment that we choose awareness. If this episode resonated with you, take a moment to share it with someone who's ready to see life through a higher lens. You can find Guru Benny on TikTok and YouTube at It's Guru Benny. And of course, you can connect with me at Deep Roots Wellness for more conversations that help you heal, awaken, and align. And remember that you are not alone on this journey and you're exactly where you're meant to be.